Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today as we explore the foundations of a craft that captivates, well, pretty much all of us. We're diving deep into the art of visual storytelling. If you've ever found yourself wondering how a simple, passing thought transforms into a full, breathtaking cinematic experience, you are in the exact right place. We're going to approach this just like a film school masterclass, building up your knowledge completely from the ground up.
So picture this for a second. Imagine you're watching your absolute favorite movie. You know the one. Every single shot looks beautiful, every sound feels incredibly real, and every emotion just hits perfectly. But how does that actually happen? I mean, how does a single idea evolve into a finished film? Well, believe it or not, every single film, from a massive big-budget Hollywood blockbuster to a fun little YouTube short, starts in the exact same way.
Now, let's clear up a massive misconception right out of the gate. People often think that great films come from buying super expensive gear. The honest truth? Filmmaking is about storytelling, not cameras. Whether you're shooting on a smartphone in your backyard, a standard DSLR, or a high-end cinema camera, the core principles remain exactly the same. Every great filmmaker begins by understanding one vital truth. You are here to communicate a story, not just press a record button. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structured roadmap for today. 1. What is filmmaking? 2. Storytelling over equipment. 3. The 4 essential stages. 4. From idea to reality. And finally, 5. The professional mindset. Starting us off with Section 1. What is filmmaking? Let's formally define the craft. At its absolute core, filmmaking is the art and process of telling stories through moving images and sound. And you do that by combining creativity, planning, technology, and a whole lot of collaboration. Think about the last film that made you laugh out loud, or cry, or sit on the edge of your seat in total suspense. Those emotions, they didn't happen by accident. Every camera angle, every specific sound effect, every cut, and every actor's performance was carefully designed by a team to communicate ideas and guide your experience as the audience.
Moving right along to Section 2, Storytelling over Equipment. This is all about why we actually make films.
You know, humans have literally always been storytellers. Long before a camera was ever even a thought, people used cave paintings, theater, music, and spoken traditions to share their experiences. Film is really just the most powerful modern evolution of that primal instinct. We make films to entertain us, sure, but also to educate us, preserve our history, promote products, inspire real change, or share entirely new perspectives. No matter your genre or your budget, the underlying purpose of every film is to communicate something deeply meaningful. All right, Section 3, the 4 essential stages. Let's look at the structured workflow. And this brilliantly illustrates how professional filmmaking is absolutely not just a series of isolated tasks, it's a seamless, connected journey. It starts with an idea, flows directly into pre-production, comes fully alive in production, gets polished in post-production, and finally reaches the world through distribution. Let's look a bit closer at how these stages beautifully connect with one another. First up is pre-production. This is where everything is meticulously planned before a single camera ever rolls. You're developing ideas, writing scripts, sketching out storyboards, casting actors, and of course, figuring out the budget and schedule. Think of pre-production exactly like a blueprint. You wouldn't just start pouring concrete and nailing boards together to build a house without a solid plan, right? Well, the exact same logic applies to filmmaking. Next, we hit production. This is the thrilling stage on set where that blueprint finally becomes reality. The cameras are rolling, actors are performing under perfectly adjusted lighting, and every breath of sound is captured. It's the stage everyone immediately pictures when they hear the word filmmaking. But here's the catch. A film set can turn into total, expensive chaos in a heartbeat without a plan. Production only succeeds because of the heavy lifting we just did back in pre-production. The moment filming wraps, we enter post-production. Here, editors take all that raw footage and transform it into a finished story. They're cutting scenes, improving the audio, scoring the music, correcting the colors, and maybe even creating visual effects. If pre-production was our blueprint and production was gathering all our materials, post-production is basically putting together a giant puzzle where every single piece has to fit perfectly to reveal the final picture. And finally, distribution. It is so vital to remember that a film isn't truly complete until it actually reaches an audience, whether that's up on a massive screen in a grand cinema, streaming on your living room television, premiering at a film festival, or just scrolling by on YouTube or social media. The whole process is only truly finished when someone out there is actually watching it. Section 4, From Idea to Reality. Let's trace the journey of a single scene. Let's walk through a super practical example to see how a simple idea evolves. Imagine your core idea is just a child flying a kite. First, you write a script detailing the wind blowing and the child's big smile. Next, you storyboard exactly how that smile will look on camera. Then you finally step onto the set to film the actor holding the string. After that, you take that raw footage, edit it together, add in the swooshing sound of the wind, and suddenly, you have a finished scene. As you can see, the camera itself was really just one small tool in that massive creative journey.
Which brings us to Section 5, the professional mindset. Let's talk about avoiding those dreaded beginner traps.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how easy it is to fall into the ultimate amateur trap. It usually looks like this: obsessing over a $5,000 lens, buying all the flashy gear first, skipping the planning entirely, and ending up with a confusing, practically unwatchable film. The professional approach is the exact opposite. Pros prioritize a strong story and rigorous planning above all else, which always results in a better film. Preparation beats expensive equipment every single time.
I want you to really let this profound truth sink in for a moment. A camera records what is in front of it. A filmmaker decides what the audience should feel. The camera is merely a tool, much like a painter's brush resting on a canvas. Storytelling, that is the true craft.
So, today, we've learned that filmmaking is a beautifully structured process of visual storytelling, one that relies heavily on creativity, careful planning, and dynamic collaboration. I am so incredibly excited for our next explainer, where we're going to build on this exact foundation and explore all the different types of films out there, from hard-hitting documentaries to snappy commercials. Until then, keep a close eye on the films you love. Remember, every great cinematic masterpiece started with one single, passing idea. The only question left is, what will yours be?